On this episode of the Turnbuckle, Shawn Michaels says WWE NXT is still reaching out to indie wrestlers. Saraya, who cares, reportedly is under a 3-year contract with AEW. We've got some backstage news on Tony D'Angelo's injury status, and Mustafa Ali wants to knock down reasons why WWE won't push him. Folks, it's time to hit a cough and drop into some wrestling news because it's time for the Turnbuckle. Shawn Michaels says WWE will continue to reach out to independent wrestlers, international talent, and those with experience from other companies as part of his developmental program. Hold on, I have to adjust. Last summer, Nick Khan stated in an interview with Ariel Helwani that the company would be focusing more on collegiate athletes and less on, quote, indie wrestlers. Our own Dave Meltzer noted that the, quote, the word from the top is no more independent talent as far as scouting and such, and that AEW can have all independent talent to itself. Michaels was recently interviewed by My San Antonio and noted that WWE's approach to scouting now is simply to find those who are just as passionate about the WWE product as we are. Shawn Michaels said, "We are still reaching out to other people with experience that have wrestled on the independent scene or been out in Japan and other companies. That is something NXT will continue to do in the future. Nothing is off the table. We simply want to continue to find people that are just as passionate about the WWE product as we are." He would continue to talk about how WWE's developmental program is changing under the new regime led by Paul Levesque. I will say that Hunter trusts me quite a bit, and I have sort of a great deal of freedom to do what I think is best for NXT and our talent here. But I can't speak... Sorry, there's mowing going on outside. You'll have to excuse me for that. But I can't speak ill of Vince or any of the other people. They have all been good to me over the years, and I always try to give them everything I can. So that isn't going to change. But Hunter and I's thought process is certainly more in line, so I don't find myself having to ask him a lot of questions, or if this or that is okay to do, or what do you think of this? He's given me a great deal of freedom down here, which I appreciate. But the good thing is we are best friends, and we are going to talk all the time. But 9 times out of 10, we are on the same page. So I think that makes it easier for everyone involved, and it certainly is more of a streamlined process. I think everyone is encouraged by that, and there's a great deal of excitement from a talent standpoint as well. This is very interesting because, obviously, if you remember, long ago, when the 4 kingdoms lived in harmony, and the anyway. So Nick Khan was like, no, only collegiate wrestlers. We don't want indie wrestlers. We want guys, right, who come in fresh off the boat and have no goddamn idea what the fuck they're doing, okay? They don't know anything about wrestling. They don't know anything about selling. They're green as green could possibly be, okay? They're greener than grass, all right? Perfect, says Nick Khan and also Vince McMahon as they rub their hands together like flies. We will teach them the WWE way, and we will teach them to be, if they're really big, we will teach them to wrestle like giants, so they'll be slow and lumbering. And if they're small, we will teach them to be all scrappy and yippy, and they'll run around all over the place. And if they're really strong, they'll just be shitheads, or they'll just talk about how fucking strong they are. That's not the case anymore, all right? Guys like fucking Luigi Primo and Bandito and, Daniel Garcia, guys who have been around the world in 80 days are now welcome to come back and showcase their skills, which honestly is a massive step in the right direction in terms of the development of WWE as a whole, because now they don't necessarily have to... This is better for so many goddamn reasons. Because they don't, okay, I want to say they don't have to work. Honestly, they don't. If you're taking a guy from the indie scene, you don't really have to train them, to be honest. That saves on, so much time. I mean, maybe, if there's a couple nuances to the WWE regime that they need to learn, then by all means, you know what I mean? Take them around the block a few times. But really, you're really saving a lot of time by getting the indie wrestlers who already know how to sell. They already know how to take a bump. They already know they're good on the mic. The crowd, 40% of the crowd's already going to know who they are. And they're 9 times out of 10, they're already going to have a character. And if they already have a character, I would assume that they're more than willing to, work on that character. You know what I mean? Or, okay, they're more than willing to adapt that character or change into a different character. You know what I mean? So I feel in terms of like indie talent coming into WWE again, I feel as though that just like the whole the Foxtel deal in Australia, I just think that this is another one of those things that is going to help WWE sort of like expand and grow in a very like exponential way. You know what I mean? So I can't really speak on like who they're gonna get and when they're gonna get them and how they're gonna. I don't know. Don't ask me. But I assume that somewhere down the line we're gonna be seeing a lot more. I feel like we're gonna be seeing a lot more familiar faces in WWE. So only time will tell. We're gonna have to see what happens next. Saraya reportedly is under a 3-year contract with AEW. According to a report from Fightful Select, AEW sources have indicated that the former Page signed a 3-year deal with the company. It is not clear if that includes option years, however, which are commonplace in AEW contracts. It was also suggested that the amount of money she is set to earn, quote, largely implies that she'll be wrestling in some capacity. Dave Meltzer wrote in the September 26th edition of Wrestling Observer newsletter that Saraya hadn't been cleared to wrestle as of recently, but was hoping to be. Quote, we were told that she had not been cleared as of very recently, which would explain not touching anyone, but would like to be cleared, Meltzer wrote. Whether or not Saraya has been recently cleared for an in-ring return is not known at this time. She officially retired from WWE in 2018 due to neck injuries. Saraya is advertised to appear, and she was on, oh my god. I swallowed my spit, help, I'm dying. So, she was on Dynamite, and she rhymed Brit with shit. And boy, howdy, I heard that her promo was not that good. I also heard that she slagged off WWE, which, man, that sure is fucking great, ain't it? That's great. They literally fucking stopped you from wrestling because they didn't want you to get hurt. And they even gave your stupid ass a manager role with the Kabuki Warriors. And they put you on the backstage segment thing. And you're still going to AEW and going, yeah, fuck WWE. She also, from what I remember, from what I heard, she went out there and like got all the women wrestlers out there. And she was like, yeah, I'm the Revolution, and this is my house, and all that sort of stuff, and hey, man, okay. Where do I begin? She can't wrestle. She's not cleared to wrestle, so she can't wrestle. If she's not cleared to wrestle, it's probably not a good fucking idea. AEW, listen to what I'm saying. Maybe don't put her in the ring if she's not cleared to wrestle. I'm not saying that her head's gonna fall off as soon as she gets in the fucking ring. But if she's not cleared to wrestle, then clearly that must mean something. Clearly that must say something about her injury status or something. I don't know. They're giving her a 3-year deal just to sort of like, stretch her out, see what she can do, see where she's going to go, see how she acts, what can we put her in and all that sort of stuff. And Gavolt, man, is just... What's happening? What is going on? I don't know what's going on. She's not cleared to wrestle. But it largely implies that she will be wrestling. Okay, but she's not cleared. So, maybe it's not a good idea to do that. You know what I mean? And then she came out there and she didn't really lay an egg, but she's not really the world's greatest promo on the stick. You know what I mean? But... on one hand, it's really not big of a deal, and to be fair, it is, if we're gonna be honest here. I mean, if you're not really going to be in a match anytime soon, then maybe it's a good rule of thumb to be good on the mic, so at least you have that going for you. But then there's guys like... I don't know where I was going to say Ricochet, but I was like, Ricochet's the exact opposite, actually. He's terrible on the mic, but he's great in the ring. And there are just people like that out there. Some people don't have the total package. That's just who they are. And Paige is just one of them. And she's just... Am I good on the mic? I'm going to go ahead and say no. I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm absolutely terrible on the mic. Okay? But if you're terrible on the mic... then Jesus Christ, at least be good in the ring. But you can't be good in the ring because you're not fucking cleared to wrestle. What is going on? She's not cleared to wrestle. But she's got a 3-year contract, which obviously implies something. It's got to imply something. So then she's got to be in a manager role then. I don't know what's going on, man. I really don't. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, man. And her boyfriend is like a shithead, and she's like perfectly fine with that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why she's got like fucking pleather pants on. Oh man, that's all I have to say, man. That's all I have to say. I keep repeating myself because I don't know what else to tell you. If she's not cleared to wrestle, then don't imply that she's wrestling but manager. Okay, who? Tony Storm? No. I don't know. Does anyone really need a manager right now? Is there really anybody who needs to be managed? I feel like the girls can, get it done. I mean, maybe you could do the thing with JAS and Pinnacle and all that blah, 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 where you can get a faction together, but, like, she doesn't wrestle, so it's like, ugh. But I guess she'd be like Smart Mark Sterling, but then, like, I don't know, man, what is this? What is happening? I'm done. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Next, we're going to talk about Tony D'Angelo. So, Tony D'Angelo suffered a knee injury during the September 27th episode of WWE NXT as he competed against Wesley in a qualification match for a spot in the North American Championship ladder match at Halloween Havoc. However, according to Dave Meltzer on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, it is understood that the issue is not that bad as he is not expected to be undergoing major surgery, and D'Angelo could be back sooner than people would think. Of course, D'Angelo is legitimately hurt, obviously, and it remains to be seen how long he's going to be on the shelf for. He was unable to finish the match against Lee during the latest episode of the developmental show because of his knee problem, and he was unable to get back up to his feet after he went face first into the turnbuckles. The X sign was thrown up by the WWE official inside the ring, and that is how Lee was given the victory, allowing him to progress to the upcoming ladder match for the vacant title with Carmelo Hayes and Oro Mensah having also qualified at this point. There was some surprise that this was shown on television because the match between D'Angelo and Lee was actually pre-taped back on September 1st, and that led to speculation taking place about the injury from those who were in attendance. However, that was not confirmed by the company nor the wrestler until the match was shown on television this week, meaning WWE might be considering using it as a storyline moving forward when D'Angelo returns. So, I thought it was a head injury. But I mean, come on. He falls into the turnbuckle and now all of a sudden he can't get up. I immediately assumed it was a head injury. But then again, it obviously was the way that he came down, and, that happens all the time in football. You go down on your knee the wrong way, or you shift your weight a little bit too quick and you fuck your knee up. It happens. I wasn't even aware that happened, but that explains why he couldn't get to his feet, But I assumed because he couldn't get to his feet because he had a head injury, and I was saying that yesterday, like, oh, why did they air it if they knew he was injured? But that's a good point. Maybe the reason why they aired it is because they wanted to let people know, right, specifically how it happened and when it happened and who it happened with, so that they could turn it into an injury angle, which makes sense. So if that's the case, then all of this actually ties back together very well, and it actually shuts me up, which is good. I wanted to be shut up because I was upset because I was like, oh, why are you showing the injury? You don't need to be doing all that. You know what I'm saying? So, well, here's the good news. It is understood that the issue is not that bad, and he is not expected to be undergoing major surgery. Thank goodness. You never want to hear that. You never want to hear, oh, he's going to be out for 6 to 9, 4 to 8, 3 to 2. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hear about that. You want to hear a speedy recovery. You know what I'm saying? He's doing well. He's in good spirits. You want to hear that. So I'm glad that Tony D'Angelo is doing all right. I'm glad. I'm so over the moon that he is actually not as injured as I thought he was. It's not a head injury. Oh, thank you, it's not a head injury. Thank you, it's not a head injury. He's okay. His knee's a bit scuffed up. Neosporin, all right, and he's back out on the playground like nothing happened, okay? Absolutely no issue whatsoever, all right? So, I mean, I would say here's to a speedy recovery, but he's literally getting one as we speak, okay? And I'm genuinely so happy, man, because I don't like when they're injured, man. It's so worrying, because you never want their career to be cut short or end or anything like that, So, I'm curious to see where they're going to take this. That is a very, very interesting point. Shouts out to Matthew Wilkinson on WrestlingInc.com. Okay, you made a very good point. Well, I don't think that that he specifically came up with that, but he's raising the very good notion that this could potentially be used as an angle. So I'm curious to see where we're going to go with this in the future. Finally, we're going to be talking about Mustafa Ali and how he wants to knock down reasons why WWE won't push him. Ali was engaged in a feud with Austin Theory for the WWE United States Championship. I don't remember when that happened. Unfortunately, he was not able to beat Theory for the title a few months ago. Since that match with Theory, Ali has not really done all that much. A fan took to Twitter and questioned why the company hasn't gone, quote, all in on Ali, because he is pretty much the complete package. Ali went to Twitter and said, I know why, and I'll knock that shit down too. So someone said on Twitter, I will never understand why in the world WWE won't go all in on Mustafa Ali. He's fantastic at promos and has the in-ring talent to match. Mustafa Ali said, I know why. He knows. And I know she knows. Sorry. He knows. That is very, very interesting that he knows. It's very interesting. And I don't know what that could potentially mean. He knows what it means, and I feel like WWE knows what it means, I guess. And I assume that's why they're not doing it. He said, I'll knock that shit down too. Is it his race? But that's not stopped him before, so it can't be his race. So it's gotta be something. It's gotta be something that I'll knock that shit down. So it's something that WWE is like not allowing him to do. It's something that WWE is sort of like holding off on. And he knows it, and he is specifically going after that. So, whatever it is, he is fully aware of it, you know? And I assume that he is gonna be taking the steps to get rid of it, I guess. I'm so curious because I know why. He knows. And I guess that implies that it's a mutual understanding. Right? It's a mutual understanding, and I guess we're gonna have to find out what that means. I don't really know, to be fairly honest, but I tell you what, I'm glued to the fucking seat, because I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. Because if you remember way back, do you remember when Mustafa Ali came out, and he was in, I think it was like Jinder Mahal, right? And he lost, right? And then he went over to the mic, and he was like, something, you all don't like me, and I know why. It's because my name is Mustafa Ali. He did the heel foreigner gimmick, and everybody was like, wow, you know. And then he like stopped, and then if I remember correctly, because I know he was on main event, I know, but and then he was in the match, right, the Fatal 4-Way, right, and it was a fucking stellar match, and then he lost, and so far we haven't seen him, you know. So, oh yeah, that's right, he was with the. That's right. I remember that. With Mustafa Ali, not fucking Austin Theory. I remember that. Never mind. So, I'm very curious to see when we're going to see him again and what that means. But honestly, time will tell, so we're going to have to wait. But I'm very, very curious. So what do we talk about? Shawn Michaels says NXT is still reaching out to indie wrestlers. Good. Saves you time. Saves you money. I mean, it's fucking great all around for NXT as a whole, all right? Saraya's got a 3-year deal. I'm just gonna, Sriracha, everyone's calling her that. I'm gonna start fucking calling you that, okay? If you get mad at me calling you Saraya, I'm gonna call you Sriracha, okay? Actually, that's what I'm just gonna call her now, to be fairly honest. She's not supposed to wrestle because she's not cleared. If she's not cleared, then what's the 3-year deal for? It's gotta be manager role. That's the only thing I can think of. Tony D'Angelo is fine. He's fine. Well, not fine, but he's fine. Thank goodness, okay? And he should be back maybe in the next couple weeks. We'll have to wait and see. And Mustafa Ali wants to knock down the reasons why WWE won't push him. I am immensely curious as to what that means, and I can't wait to see what that entails. Folks, I'm going to give a shout out to everybody who stopped by. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs all over the place.